Hi everybody, this is the solution I'm proposing for the Volo Foundation Vista Award. My idea is entitled Evaluation of Antimethanogenic Potential of Extracts from Pigweed and Tropical Soda Apple in North Florida. First, a short background. Florida is among the top 10 states in the country with almost 930,000 cows. Provisioning around 50,000 beef operations occupying almost 30% of the state and generating 2 billion last 2020 for the state. Most of the operation correspond to cow-calf farms and a growing number of backgrounding operations. And interestingly, almost all operations are based in pastures. Unfortunately, cows grazing low digestible forages result in greater methane production. In fact, most of the methane produced by cattle in the US come from beef operations. So, reducing methane emission in this operation is a big problem to be solved. Besides the greater methane production, health and productivity of pastures in beef operation are threatened by weeds. For example, pigweed is a well-known weed in pasture of North Florida cattle operations. This weed represents significant area losses which might be occupied by edible forages in beef cattle farm in North Florida. Likewise, tropical soda apple is a regular visitor of the North and South Florida grasslands, infesting improved pasture in 12 months. This weed occupies space of forages and invades shady areas, impeding cattle to rest during hot hours. Chemical control results cumbersome and expensive, and despite both species had elevated protein, cows cannot use it because of their morphology and toxicity. A previous work demonstrates how ensiling reduces toxic compounds in wheat. Interestingly, both of these wheats have a great content of plant secondary metabolites, such as phenols, saponins, and flavonoids, which exhibit relevant antioxidant properties. Using various types of extraction, several authors worldwide had isolated phenolic compounds with antibacterial effects on these species. Besides antioxidant effects, recent in vitro studies had reported that those secondary metabolites could potentially reduce the methane production given their antibacterial effects. This result essential, given cattle is the top producer of methane in the US. Indeed, more than 120 million tons are generated by beef cattle, and almost 90% come from cow-calf and backgrounding operations. Therefore, to meet the climatic target proposed in the Paris Agreement, methane from ruminants must be reduced by 20% by 2030. Some of the most effective mitigation strategies recognized there are included in the project I am proposing. By evaluating the potential of pigweed and tropical soda apple as methane inhibitors, we could impact two important issues of beef production in Florida: reduce methane and set a sustainable management of weeds. This could represent an alternative income for cattlemen to obtain extracts or to be used as a cheap crop, to be a supplement for steers' diet. The solution we are proposing has a double purpose. First, find an alternative use of two invasive weeds, and second, to mitigate methane production in beef cattle. For this, we plan to obtain samples of morphological components of the weeds in North Florida, separate and determine chemical composition of the components in the forage and animal nutrition at the NFRC Mariana. Then evaluate four methods to extract phenols, saponins, and flavonoids. Determine the content of those secondary metabolites and select the component with higher metabolites to evaluate methane production using an ex situ protocol with cannulated animals. More promising extracts from morphological components will be further infused in the rumen of animals to do a 24 hours monitoring of the ruminal fermentation and methane productions. Finally, the extract will be supplemented in a performance experiment in the feedlot pens at the NFRC Mariana Station, using the green feed technology to determine in vivo methane emission. Even a modest mitigation of methane will be a success. Also, if a reduction is detected, find a method to process the wheat will be a success as well. And yes, the cow in the picture is trying to graze in a wheat-infested pasture.